Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam, and I'm going to teach you how to make money on PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, the two most popular DFS platforms. As you can see, PrizePicks already has some promos out for the MLB season, including some MLB futures, which is really, really cool, right? They have this Shohei Ohtani boosted to go over 30 home runs, boosted down from 34.5. So a nice little promo that PrizePicks is offering. But when it comes to strategy behind PrizePicks, there are certain things you can do to make sure that you are placing the most profitable player props in your PrizePicks entry. And that is exactly what I'm going to detail in this video, while giving you guys a nice 5 or 6 pick entry on PrizePicks and a 3 or 5 pick one on Underdog, depending how many player props we can find. For those of you watching this before I get into it, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, comment, let me know your thoughts, and then of course subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to find me on social media, you can at my Twitter handle that you see on the screen here. Also listed on the link to it is in the description of the video as well. So, PrizePicks. Hopefully everybody watching this is aware of how the PrizePicks kind of whole system operates. Basically, it's like a player prop parlay where you combine 2 or more legs, and the more legs you add, the higher the payout is, but also the higher the risk, because the more legs you add, the more legs need to hit. But what is absolutely fascinating about PrizePicks is that they don't change the payout depending on the plays that you add, right? No matter what individual player prop you add into a PrizePicks entry, the payouts are the exact same. So I have like a bunch of home run props for the MLB season, right? $20 to win 60. You're doubling your money in terms of profit because you take out your initial risk. So $20 to profit 40. Let's change Shohei Ohtani to Vladimir Guerrero. Same exact price. Let's change Aaron Judge to Yordan Alvarez. Same exact price, right? No matter what individual leg you are adding into a PrizePicks entry, the payouts are going to be the exact same. So due to that fact, you can find some absolute amazing player props on PrizePicks because they don't charge any extra juice, right? If you think about it from a sports betting perspective, an actually regulated sportsbook, a FanDuel, a DraftKings, whatever it may be, if they deem a player prop likely to hit, what they're going to do is they're going to upcharge that player prop. And it's not just player props, right? It's any type of bet. But if they deem a bet likely to hit, a heavy favorite, they're going to make it more expensive to buy. Well, PrizePicks doesn't do that. So when you're looking for player props to put into a PrizePicks entry, you want to find player props that the sportsbooks themselves are telling you are likely to hit. And if you can combine certain plays like that, then that's something that will be profitable in the long run. Now, you have to understand with PrizePicks, because it is a parlay, your win percentage of entries is going to be lower, right? If you're placing a 5 or 6 pick entry, you literally only need to win 5% of those entries in order to be profitable. 5%. That means you can place 100 and lose 95 and still make money. So the variance is going to be incredibly high when it comes to PrizePicks. It's something that you just kind of have to live with. It's not fun, but the profitability and the ways you can make money and how much money you can make on PrizePicks makes it all worth it. So the first leg, and I can kind of detail why this one's good, is going to be Dorian Finney-Smith to go under 1.5 made 3-pointers. So when it comes to PrizePicks, a 5 or 6 pick flex has the implied odds of an individual leg of minus 119. Basically meaning if you do the math behind the total payouts of a 5 or 6 pick flex, the total payout, and then you take what a parlay would be for those individual legs, it equates to minus 119. Now, I know that sounds kind of confusing. Basically, all you really need to know is the way a 5 or 6 pick flex works. If you place a 5 or 6 pick parlay for minus 119 odds, it matches the same payout. So that's kind of why we price an individual leg on a PrizePicks entry to be minus 119. So the play that we're talking about here is Dorian Finney-Smith under 1.5 made 3-pointers. Well, look at where all of the other sportsbooks are pricing this, right? And I filtered, which is cool, specifically for PrizePicks. So if you're ever looking at like, okay, I only want to place PrizePicks, or I only want to place Underdog, you can literally filter specifically for those books. But as I said, look at where every other sportsbook is pricing this play. So we know PrizePicks has the implied odds of minus 119. the same exact implied odds, no matter if we take the over or the under, or if we take a different play, whatever it may be. BetMGM has this at minus 155. FanDuel has this at minus 140. Caesars has this at minus 154. Bet365, DraftKings, both at minus 145. Betway, minus 145, minus 140, minus 130. Look across the board. Every single sportsbook, prices odds individually, right? These sportsbooks, they don't price odds based on what another sportsbook has. They all come to their own lines individually. But they are all also universally aligned that Dorian Finney-Smith is heavily, heavily likely to go under 1.5 made three-pointers. So they all price him as the more expensive option. Again, PrizePicks doesn't do that, right? They don't charge any extra juice depending on the individual player props that you add. So that creates a situation where you can get a really, really good player prop because, same thing, all the sportsbooks heavily favor the under. And if you think about it, right, like you can take the over or the under for this exact play. And you just look at the difference between where the over and the under is priced on these sportsbooks. Like there's no logical scenario why you should ever take his over on PrizePicks because the sportsbooks have it for plus money. They have it for less than a 50% chance of hitting. And if you click this calculator here, it actually tells you the exact win percentage of this play based on these no vig odds that you see right here. OddsJam pulls lines from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, and they remove the vig using a weighted average, which pulls into these no vig odds here. So that's why the positive EV page is so valuable. So we're basically locking in a player prop that's going to hit just below 55% of the time, and we're putting it into a PrizePicks entry, and that is a profitable entry. So positive EV page, great way to find profitable player props. It's not the only way though. I love using the low holds page as well. So a low hold is basically when you can place a bet on both sides as close to a 0% hold on the market as possible, meaning you can place a bet on both sides and possibly break even. So what you can do with the low holds page is use it to find profitable bets, including profitable player props to put in the PrizePicks. Just need to make sure that you click this little button here and that you type in PrizePicks or Underdog, which is what I was typing in before, and it gives you plays where PrizePicks is offering the best odds at minus 119. So there are a bunch of different options here that are more often than not probably going to be good. Now you need to do the digging to make sure that the play is in fact good. It's not a guarantee like it is on the positive EV page, but let's see what we have here. So the first play that we are locking in is Luka to go over 30.5 points. So we know, again, implied odds of minus 119. And really, when you are placing player props on PrizePicks, what you're looking to do is find player props that the sportsbooks are telling you are likely to hit, whether it's an over or an under. And literally every single sportsbook that is pricing this Luka play favors him going over, right? Minus 125, minus 145, minus 130, minus 145, minus 130, minus 138, minus 124. And this is also a good play on Underdog as well. So it's my second pick specifically on PrizePicks, and it's my first pick on Underdog. But all of these sportsbooks are telling you how likely they think it is that Luka is going to go over his point total of 30.5. So that makes it a good play to put into PrizePicks. So again, Luka over 30.5 points, good on PrizePicks and Underdog. So the Dorian Finney-Smith one is actually the same one that we already locked in. But if we were to just go down a little bit, let's look at another play. Zach LaVine over 30.5 points plus assists. Same thing here. Really, really good play. Every single sportsbook that is pricing this play has his over as the heavily, heavily favored outcome. BetMGM, minus 125 towards the over, minus 105 towards the under. Heavily favoring the over. As is Caesars, Bet365, DraftKings, Betway, Flith. This is what you're looking for when you're trying to find profitable player props to put into a PrizePicks entry. You want to find plays that the sportsbooks are telling you are likely to hit and combine those into an entry. So this is play number 3 on PrizePicks. Next up, we're going to the NHL. We're locking in a hockey play. Evan Rodriguez to go under 2.5 shots on goal. Again, same logic here. I don't mean to just keep repeating myself, but this stuff is really important. And this is also a good play to put into Underdog as well. So this is my 4th play on PrizePicks and my 2nd play on Underdog. But it's really good. FanDuel heavily favors the under at minus 140. Same thing with DraftKings at -135. Bet Rivers, -125. Across the board, -170, -165, -135. Great play here. Evan Rodriguez under 2.5 shots on goal. Next up, another good play, and this one is good on both PrizePicks and Underdog. So my third play on Underdog and my fifth play on PrizePicks. Kyrie Irving to go under 4.5 rebounds. Look at where these sportsbooks are pricing it, right? BetMGM, -135. FanDuel, -142. Caesars, -139. They're all heavily favoring him to go under. So we're putting it in a PrizePicks entry. I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but this type of stuff is really important. So Kyrie Irving under 4.5 rebounds. Next up, we are looking at Zach Collins, and this is my sixth and final play specifically on PrizePicks. Zach Collins under 3.5 assists for the same exact logic. Every single sportsbook across the board, universally favoring him, sometimes by a pretty decent amount, to go under this number. Zach Collins under 3.5 assists. So now what we're doing, we need 2 more plays on Underdog to round out a 5-pick entry. So instead of typing in PrizePicks, we're going to type in Underdog. So 2 of these plays we already locked in, Luka and Evan Rodriguez. The last one that we have here is Nasir Little over 14.5 points. You can see why this play is good. Every sportsbook is favoring the over. With that said, on Underdog, the best form of value is to place 3 or 5 picks. So I found 4 that I liked. Either if you're watching this, just take the first 3, or if you can find a 5th one when you're watching this that you like, lock it in as well. But in terms of profitability, the best options are to do 3 or 5 picks into an entry on Underdog. But that's it. So a bunch of player props for you guys to lock in on the DFS platforms. Hopefully this video made sense. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. So I appreciate everybody watching, and have a good one.